key things is that when you're a part of something that is, or something that you really started, and looking at it grow, and looking at it mature to the level that it is now, and having see people come and being able to be a part of that whole growth, I think that's really something that it's very inspirational to be a part of that. And I've never really thought of leaving, and it has always been that passion that's kept me with the company. For now, there's so many changes, so many people that we meet, so many stores that we open. So there's really a lot of things going on within the office and the store environment. In order to develop somebody, you need to hire the right person. I think that's the most critical thing. At Starbucks, we emphasize a lot in hiring for attitude and less than the hard skill, because the hard skill we believe can be trained. You got to have that people. You got to be a people person in order to be in the service industry, and so that's the key thing that we look for at all levels of the organization. Besides that, I think training and development, as in making the person feel that they are a part of the business, is also very critical. We look at that as something that's really, really important. Currently, some of the challenges that we do face, as in any other F&B organization, is retaining our people, keeping the people in our stores. We have a very retained support center level, but in the stores and as we grow the business, we do see turnover. So one of the key challenges that we face currently is to be able to work on programs that will keep our people, and so far it's been working out really well for us. You see, we have our district managers who actually manage about 7, 8, 9 stores per person, and these are all field people or operations people. And our district managers, they have been with the company on an average of about 7 years as well. So we have kept the people that are really that have really helped us to grow to where we are today, and as we add more people. Overall, I would say that we have actually, if you look at our growth, right, the basic health of a company, if a company is not doing well, the company cannot grow. And on an average, Starbucks for us, over the last year, on an average, we opened about 12 to 15 stores, on an average, right? So I think in terms of growth, it's been really healthy for us. We see a lot of support from our customers. And I think that has really helped the team. And in our customers, I'm sure many of you are our customers as well. We have a very strong base of customers that really feel that third place environment with us. The Starbucks has always been the third place, the place away from your home, away from your office, a place where you can come here and sit down and relax. That has always been what Starbucks is all about. And we have preached that from day one. From the very first day that we came into Malaysia, we preached that. And I think that has resonated really well with a lot of our customers as well. So, and our partners in the store, they try to be able, our goal is to be able to make someone's day, every day. And our partners in the store really try to do that every time. Yeah. I think the coffee culture in Malaysia is very young. I think we are, in the Starbucks terms, if you look at Starbucks as compared to many other countries, we are considered growing. We are considered still at a very infant stage, although we've been in the country for about 15 years. The affluency of countries like Korea, or even Taiwan or the US, in terms of the appreciation of quality coffee is very different, right? So we see the coffee culture in Malaysia growing, and looking at the cafes that have been sprouting out lately, I think you will see that there is a strong growing culture for coffee. And I think this will also increase as people become more affluent, people learn to treat themselves more. Because Starbucks is like a treat, so you treat yourself more. You'll be able to sit and enjoy the environment, read your book, speak with friends, you know. So, and that social gathering is what really is, that is what Starbucks really is all about. So yeah, it's definitely growing. I guess understanding the term interaction. But I think we speak really openly in the office at all levels of the organization. We joke, we have fun. We do have fun, right, guys? Huh? We do have fun, isn't it? Yeah, so that's basically how we interact at all levels of the organization. Yeah. So in everything that we do, there's always fun there. So when we have our operating plan, we have this, we try to inject a lot of fun. So the word FUN still remains in the context of the business that we do. We strongly believe that social media is the future. I think being able to speak to somebody personally and being able to reach out to somebody wherever they are, I think that's really, really critical and very, very important. We are fortunate to have a very strong social media team, and these guys do a great job in terms of being able to speak to our customers. We are not there yet. We are getting there slowly. I don't think anybody is there yet, basically, but we are getting there slowly. But what we see social media as a platform for us to improve as well. We get a lot of tweets. We get a lot of feedback on Facebook. We get a lot of feedback on our website. And Malaysians being Malaysians, 80% not very good. So when we do get that good feedback, it's really something that we celebrate. But it also gives us that opportunity to improve, and I think that's really, really critical for us. So what happens is when we receive feedback, that feedback is attended to within 24 hours. And the person giving the feedback is responded to within 24 hours. So that's how critical we take social media, and that's how we use social media to be able to communicate with our customers. I really don't see one person as an inspiration. I have thought about this and many times, but I think people will always say you get inspired by those people that are really well known, the Steve Jobs of this world, the Zuckerbergs, the Warren Buffets of this world, Bill Gates. Everybody sees these people as being the inspirational leaders, or even the great war leaders like Winston Churchill. Everybody sees these people as being inspirational, and rightly so. We have our local inspirational leaders like Tun Mahathir, Tony Fernandez. Yes, these are all inspirational corporate leaders. And yes, we do see them as being inspirational. I see them as being inspirational. But then there are others, everyday heroes, people like you and me. People who have got challenges, people who have overcome their challenges to reach to the top. People who with disabilities, people who have worked really hard to get where they are. The fathers who have to work for their families. I think these are all really inspirational people, and I try to look for inspiration in everybody, and that's basically how I look at it. So I think if you really want to look at what inspires you, I think everybody inspires you one way or another. When I walk into the office, I look at the people that we work together, and they are very inspirational. If they are not, I don't think we'll be able to do what we do every day. So if you ask me about inspiration, I think I get inspiration, all of us get inspiration from everywhere. Yeah. There's no real secret element that goes into I can tell you about the beans that we use, I can tell you about the water filter that we have, I can tell you so many good things about this cup of coffee, right? But at the end of the day, it's you, right? If you think that Frappuccino is really something that works for you, and that's something that when you sit down and have that Frappuccino, you feel that the whole day has gone by, and you're just relaxing and enjoying yourself, right? And in your mind, you see the sea, and you see the waves and everything because you're having that Frappuccino, hey man, that's your drink, right? So I think that basically it's how it is, right? So there's no real perfect cup of coffee. I think what works for you is your perfect cup of coffee. Right? So that's basically how it is. And also the people that you are with, right? If you are sitting here in a social gathering and you're having great conversation and you love your coffee, or you love your tea, or you love your decaffeinated coffee, I think that's basically your perfect cup of coffee. So I think there will always be customers like that. There will always be customers like that. And then but there will always be a lot of customers also who understand that the environment and everything else that we provide in Starbucks is something that you don't get anywhere else. You see that there are a lot of people, a lot of our customers who actually use our stores as their office. I think some of you may even know them, or some of you may do it as well, I don't know, right? So some people sit in our stores from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening. And what they do in our stores is they correspond, because we have Wi-Fi and everything else, right? They buy a cup of coffee, they sit down and they correspond. And they do business, you know, they do whatever that they do, basically, right? So I always say that I have the cheapest office in KL. For a cup of coffee, you have everything. You've got the air conditioning, which you did not pay in terms of utilities. You have everything, and if you need coffee, all you need to do is to call our people and they will serve you. You need a napkin, excuse me, can I have a napkin, please? You try that at home, it won't work. Right? So, you know, in terms of the environment and everything else that comes with it, I think, you know, basically you are, like I said, you have the cheapest office space in KL. Besides that, as we move into innovations, we're actually exploring a lot of drive-thrus currently. So this provides an added convenience to our customers as well. And we have currently about three drive-thrus with a lot more in place. And that provides that additional convenience to our customers. So basically there's so many things that comes in a Starbucks, right? And not just that coffee. You know? So the coffee is basically the catalyst for everything else that you do, right? So that's how we basically look at it. GMOS, or GMOS in short, is our global month of service. And this is a time during this month where everybody in our store the business takes second stage. Everybody is focused on working for the community. And it's not that we don't do that all the time. In all our stores, they adopt a community project throughout the whole year. As a company, we adopt a community project for the whole year. We have community programs running simultaneously in Penang, in Sarawak, in Sabah, in Langkawi. So there are many projects that we do adopt. But during this month, we try to get everybody really focused on building the community part of the business and not so much the business. Right? So what happens is that during this time, a lot of our programs are put into place to really clock. You see, it's really difficult to measure what community service is all about, right? If you go to an old folks home, give 2 checks, you come out, you're done with community service, right? If you go and clean up some place or clean up some area, you know, you're done with community service. Most people do community service by giving away checks. And to me, that's the easiest way of doing community service. You just go in and, yeah, I did it, no, I gave you $10,000, so. But what we try to do here is, we try to measure it by hours, right? So you cannot run from the fact that if you are there, actually working with the community, you clock the hours. Right? So we try to measure it by hours. So during that month, we really focus on building the community connections and clocking as many community hours as we can. And that would be the benchmark or the report card for how well we do with the community.
Right? Another question about Starbucks. Most organizations these days, as you say, focus on social responsibility. Do most organizations execute this exercise to project an image or to inculcate a stronger and more responsible working environment? What do you think?
It's very hard for me to speak for other people, but I think for us, it's definitely not to clock an image. We don't give away checks. We give away grants that come in from the US, grants that people, grants that we apply on behalf of people. We give away grants, but we don't give away checks in that manner. So I think that obviously there will be people who will take the easy way out, and basically that's business. There will be people who will do that, but for us, we have always been really focused on the community service hours, as well as being present in our community.
Let's ask you another question about the business. Can you share with us what does it mean to have a customer-centric mindset?
Another hard question. Again, I can say that, you know, there are so many things that you can say about that, right? The customer is always right, that's rule number 1. If the customer is ever wrong, you go back to rule number 1. You know, you can always say that, right? But at the end of the day, I think having a customer-centric mindset, not everybody has that. And we also realize that in our stores. Putting the customer first above everything else is something that is really important in our business as well. Many times I've experienced this, and I'm sure everybody has. When you go to certain establishments, you will see two people talking to each other, two people working in the same establishment talking to you, and they will be smiling at each other. They'll be joking, they'll smile. The minute the customer stands in front of them, yes, what do you want? Right? So I don't think that's customer-centric. Right? So we try as much as possible not for that to happen. But you know, people being people, you know, you have your off days, you have your on days, you have your happy days, you have your sad days. You know? So having a customer-centric mindset has always been the fact that we will always ensure that we put the customer above everything else. And that's one of the reasons why we have that 24-hour response period to our customers. So having, for us, that's what has been, or that's our DNA basically, it's been ingrained in what we do. But having said that, we do have our off days as well. Right? So, you know, we try as much as possible. To give you a direct answer, I really don't know what having a customer-centric mindset means. I know it in terminology, but in actual practical, it's very difficult for you to really justify something like that. I think the most important thing is being a part of the brand and having the people that work for us understand that and also feel that this is not just a job. And it's a belief in the organization that if you feel that this is just a job, you won't stay. Because there will always be a better job somewhere else. And there will always be a job that pays you more somewhere else. Always, I think. So if you feel that this is just a job, I think, yeah, definitely you won't stay. So what we try to do is, we try to ensure that our people really feel the business, they are part of the business, they're excited when we grow, and they are sad when we fail. And we do fail. In many instances, we do fail as well. We have open stores, we have closed stores. Right? So being a part of that business, I think, is really critical. And eventually that they will have the passion for the business. When people feel empowered, when people feel a part of what they do is important, the worst thing an employee can feel or a partner can feel is that you are not important. The day somebody feels that you are not important, it's time to leave, I would think. So if you don't have that, if everybody feels that they are important, I think the passion will eventually develop. And I also tell the people that I work with, right? That the day you wake up in the morning and say, shoot, I don't want to go to work today, terrible. I think very soon you will leave as well. So I think and so far, I've not woken up in that manner before. So, you know, so I think having that passion is really very ingrained, and the company's job is to really bring that passion out. I think one of the key words that I would use is understanding. Understanding the fact that a leader's role is to lead people, right? Otherwise, there's really no term as a leader, right? So for me, understanding that everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses, and being able to inspire people to capitalize on their strengths, and also to have the confidence to overcome their weaknesses. I think that is the true grit of a great leader. Everybody has something in them, and a leader cannot force that out. A leader will be able to inspire that out, but you cannot force that out. I think that's one, and that's the emotional part, I would think. The second part is that I think a leader must be a visionary. And if a leader is not a visionary and the leader does not have a path or doesn't know how to lead a path for people to follow, nobody will follow, right? There is this hat that I've seen before. You know, a normal cap has got one thing, right? This cap has got one side, two, and on top it says, I am their leader, which way did they go? Okay. So that's, to me, when I look at that, it does resonate very well in the fact that a leader must be a visionary. You must be able to set a path, must be able to guide you how to get there. So having that understanding that people have their strengths, their weaknesses, and being able to get the best out of people, I think that is basically what what is the role of a leader, and that's how I would look at it. I'm sure everybody has their different explanations of what a leader should be, and there are also a lot of textbooks that tell you a leader should be like that, a leader should be like this. No, but I think being a leader is what is something that comes from you first. And the third thing is that a leader must be able to speak from the heart, I think. If you don't speak from the heart, at the end of the day, nobody's going to listen, right? So I think that's really critical, and especially in the corporate environment that we are in. Of course, a war leader will be very different. The guy tell you, go there, shoot, die. You go there, shoot, die, because it's a war leader. It's very different, but I think we are talking about corporate leadership. I think it's a lot different as well. Of course, you would want, I think everybody wants, I know everybody there wants to take my place. But I've told them to be patient. You know? But I think everybody wants that, right? No, it will be really. Everybody wants it. It would be really funny to hear somebody say, you know, I just want to be like this. I don't want to go anywhere. You know, I have no corporate ambition. Maybe when you're 60, right? But if you're young, you're dangerous, you're bold. You know, you really want to aspire to grow, right? So I think basically that is. So if you ask me, yeah, of course. I wanted to be Prime Minister one day, you know. Yeah, but, you know.
That could still happen. Prime Minister who makes the best cup of coffee, I think that would get a lot of votes.
We've had the launch of the Starbucks card. I think that's something that we have been really looking forward to for a long time. We've been pushing it to come to Malaysia, and that Starbucks card has, I mean, it's basically a reward card, and it also gives a lot of, and we are taking that to the next level. There's a lot of programs that we're implementing with the card, and it also is a card that allows our customers to enjoy benefits from the card as well. That card has really elevated the base of customers that we have, and we work really hard to ensure that that card is the card that the customer would want to carry in their wallets. And I tell them this story, right? I think most of them will know. I was in a boutique in Gardens, right? And this was a higher end boutique, right? So it was an LV boutique, basically, right? So I was in this boutique, and then I was looking, window shopping only. So I was looking at the stuff that they had and all that. Then there was this guy next to me. He was carrying a LV bag, a document bag, right? So he was carrying an LV bag. Then, and I was with not this shirt, but another one that has a smaller. For this, they say you must wear big, so that's why I wore this one. But otherwise, it was a smaller one. And what happened was when he wanted to pay for a wallet, so when he stood there, and I was standing next to him, but he didn't see this, so he took out his Starbucks card, and he gave it to the sales, the girl who was cashing it. You know, LV still not cheap, right? So he took out. Then, do you accept this card? No, this is a Starbucks. I don't accept this card. You know, they're also very polite, right? So it wasn't as how I said, like, you know, they were very customer centric. So they said, I didn't accept this card. Then this guy said, hey, you should. This is the only card that I need. Yeah, and I didn't make this up. It really happened. So then, from there you realize, right, that a lot of our customers actually use the card. So if you ask me something that really brings in customers, that really makes customers feel rewarded, I think over the recent year or so, it's been the Starbucks card. I think you got to have the right business first, and you got to have the right passion for the business, and then and you probably have to have the people around you have the right passion as well. You can't do it alone, that's for sure, right? I think with all these elements, I think and I think one very important thing is the perseverance. In business, if there is no, when we started Starbucks, a lot of people thought this company would not work because of the price is one, obviously. I think the other thing is the fact that Malaysians will not accept something like this. Right? So I think in terms of the perseverance that we had and creating the right strategy for the business, I think that has really carried through. So to answer your question, I think it's a lot about having the passion for the business, having the right strategy, and also the sharing it with the people around you. But nowadays the business model has changed tremendously as well, right? People sitting at home on the internet make millions of dollars. Okay, so the business model is very different also. Okay. So there's really no face-to-face, no interaction. But at the end of the day, their products sell really well. Okay. So I guess it will be a different model for a different sort of business that anybody wants to start. But passion will always be there. If without the passion, there's really nothing that you will be able to do.